What you got on? Your mind? Someone said, as a man thinketh, so is he. One of the greatest movies of all time was a movie called Cool Hand Luke. Paul Newman was the key actor in that. He was Luke, and he'd gone through his little town one evening, and he was drunk, and he took a brick, and he popped open the parking meters, and he took the change that was inside, and he was finally arrested and taken out in the country to this little prison camp. Over and over again during the movie, he tries to escape. Over and over again, they catch him and they bring him back into the camp. He'd stand before the old rickety house where the boss man was, and boss man would come out. I remember one time, boss man comes out and he looks at Luke. And he said, "Luke, what we got here is a problem. The problem is a failure to communicate." But then one time he came out, and this is what he said. He said, "Luke, son," he said, "you got to get your mind right. You got to get your mind right." Well, how you think will determine how you act. Let me say it again. How you and I think will determine how you and I act. So let me ask you a question. What thoughts have you had going through your mind the last 24 hours? Number two, would you be embarrassed to have all those thoughts thrown on a wall, on a screen, on a wall for everyone to see? Let me ask you this. The last 24 hours, those thoughts you've had, have they been positive? Have they been uplifting? Have they been helpful? Have they been healing? Have they been wholesome thoughts? And so the question then becomes, how do I think right? Well, the scripture says that our hearts are sick. They're deceitful. Jeremiah 17:9. You might want to check that out again. Remember that the heart refers to the mind, the will, and the emotions, not the pumper. So how do you change how you think? The way you change how you think is by getting a new heart. Mind, will, and emotions. How do you get a new heart? You got to get you some Jesus. You get Jesus in your heart and life, he gives you a whole different possibility of thinking the way you ought to think and acting the way he wants you to act. So, there's a great passage of scripture, Philippians chapter number 4, verse number 8. "And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true, what is honorable, and right, and pure, and lovely, and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise." Well, you get you a new heart by getting Jesus, and then you begin to think right. And then, when Jesus looks at us, he won't have to say like the old boss man, "You know what we got here is we got to get your mind right." Your mind will be getting right if you get Jesus. You think about that.